Okay, it looks like we may not have questions. I know we've been going on quite a long time and want to pick up this conversation again. Oh, wait a minute. We have a question from Amy who's asking, do you have perspectives on influencing market behavior from the bottom up?
Amy, is that question to anyone in particular?
To Peter.
Peter.
Perhaps Peter.
Or April, maybe you have some perspective on that too.
Peter, yeah. you had a question in the chat room.
I didn't. I was responding to building market from bottom up. Yeah, we've had experience with community energy and educating a regional community. It was our first WPI student engagement about 7 or 8 years ago. And it was a very productive exercise. And what it did establish was community awareness, then community engagement, and some great pathways for the community of Merbau Northern District to go forward. And energy efficiency was seen as a very low cost, high yield approach to delivering that. But critically, it was to self-empower the local community, enable them to take it on. And indeed, the ultimate outreach of the plan was for community installation of its own energy systems, whether it was wind. We looked at bioenergy, capturing the methane out of the local sewerage system. And solar was a second level one because we're high in the Stress Lecky Mountains, hills. So yeah, that was a great journey, but it all started with a direct engagement of community survey. And so building stuff locally, building therefore stuff regionally. That program has now part morphed into what's called Re-Energise Gippsland. And that has now got millions of dollars of state government support over the intervening 8 years. And that is through the aegis of Gippsland Climate Change Network. So SRI, myself, in its own funny little way, were part of the stimulus, the initiating action, and that's what you can do from the ground up when you get lucky and know what you're doing.
I was just going to add, on a larger scale technology, I suppose, but an example where really the engagement, we've had to do it after the fact, and that was during the big drought and there were a lot of government rolled out to government buildings. Schools, for example, each had rain tanks that were installed. We started doing work around catchment health and permeability, and we realized that over at least 60% of these are now just sculptures. No one really knew how to use, it's a very technology, but to take toilets or other operations off of the potable water grid. And so just use ever trained a dog and you hide the medicine in the peanut butter sort of situation. We do a lot of events where people are coming along because they want to help a school or because they have a particular interest. We match it to the interest of groups that we already know are hubs, or maybe work something like the Australian Religious Climate Council, I think it's called ARC. So working around faith-based networks. And so we get our message in, our technical message in, but it's sort of the second or third reason why someone might be considering that they're coming to the event. But we hope it's the number one thing in their mind when they leave an event. We haven't tried applying it scale uptake of technology above a certain value, I guess, of a certain cost to individuals involved.
Well, I know we are over time, and if there are no more questions, we'd like to close the event by thanking all of you who have gathered from across Oceania and the globe for this event today. And we extend our hands in friendship, and we honor the Native peoples, the traditional caregivers of the lands in which we work today, the Nipmucs of central Massachusetts, the Wurundjeri of Melbourne, the Maori of Aotearoa, land of the long white cloud, the Kanaka Maoli of Hawaii, and all the Pacific Island peoples. We pay our respects to their elders past and present, and join with you in caring for the land and working for a better future together. Thank you, everyone, and stay healthy, please.